So the odds of them being funded at that point was probably something to range of 0.0001. So our goal was to put together these types of programs to help entrepreneurs do a better job of getting prepared to come to groups like ours and make presentations.
Tell me, how do you get involved in that, some of those programs?
Sure. This e-Kickstart program is a monthly program that we do here, and we basically are helping coordinate that and recruiting attendees to come in and participate in the program. This half-day monthly morning mentoring session, we are supplying 4 of our investors with 4 service providers that are working with 4 entrepreneurs over at Hamilton County Business Center. And then they play musical chairs, so the entrepreneur gets a chance to ask any question that they want of this investor and the service provider. So there's lots of ways, and these are things that we think make angel investing interesting, because you can work with these companies, and it's really the fun part of investing, because I've seen so many things over the last 15-year period that I wouldn't have seen normally with my focus in information technology. But by doing these types of activities, you learn so much about different investment opportunities and industries that are really, really exciting.
Tell me how I can answer that.
You didn't like my answer, that's okay.
The e-Kickstart series, actually last Friday, we had a guy who got money from Shark Tank. Yeah, he was the mensch on the bench guy that lives in the beer. It was a really entertaining program. But the morning mentoring sessions, I'm always looking for service provider mentors that are not angels and are angel mentors. So if you're interested in participating in that, let me know. I'm always looking for mentors. Pete and Sally Kay are here. They're frequent mentors at that session. So we're always looking for additional expertise to sit down and just help coaches out to do here to deals with.
Okay, Scott, I've got 3 minutes, so I'm going to have to talk about 700 words a minute now to get through these next few slides. But we put these in for reference purposes, because I mentioned we invest primarily as a club, but we also have funds, and you can see what has happened with the history of our funds going back to 2003. Again, you can look at this at a later time. Our current Fund 4 was an $8 million fund, $4 million coming from our investors and $4 million from the state. We are now, the state is issuing a new RFP within the next month. We do plan a QCA First Fund 5, and the state's going to allow us to request $5 million, so we anticipate that can be a $10 million fund. We would hope to have it wrapped up sometime in the 3rd or 4th quarter of 2015 and be in a position that we can start investing in late 15 or early 2016. There's really 4 types of members that we have, and you can look at this at your leisure. But regular members, these are the people that roll up their sleeves and do all the heavy lifting. They pay a lot less fees to be a part of the group. We have associate members. These are people that may have day jobs or they live out of the area. We have a Chicago member. We have a member in New Jersey. They don't do any of the heavy lifting, therefore they pay more in annual dues, but they get access to our deal flow and all the information. And then we have investment partners, and those investment partners come in 2 flavors. One is they invest in the fund, so they're active investors. They're a part of the committed capital fund that we put together. Or they're a group of people that are friends of QCA. If we need to fill out a round, maybe we have $250,000 open, we'll go to these people and fill out the round and fund the company.
Only one thing on the regular members, that's not it's like that $250,000 is not a financial commitment where they sign a line. It's if they see deals that are attractive.
It is, to Don's point, it's a handshake commitment that we're looking for people to make. And when we first started the QCA group, we decided on that number because we wanted people to have a meaningful enough number that they got out of bed in the morning, would come to the meetings, roll up their sleeves, and do the heavy lifting that I talked about. And we have our meetings on Monday morning from 9 until 12:30. That was by design. And when I did the work to figure out how to set up the angel group, I determined there were 3 types of groups: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We became the brunch group, and we did it on Monday morning because all the clubs were closed on Monday, and therefore people couldn't use that excuse that they were coughing and not come to our meetings. This is some of the financial numbers of investments that we've done through the Queen City Angel Group. This talks about the value back to the community. lessons learned. Investing requires a lot of work. This is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the people that you can become an angel investor. You can meet your friends at your club or wherever, and they may tell you about a deal, and they've just written a $50,000 check to invest in company A. And then if you quiz them, if you know anything about due diligence, and you ask them, well, what due diligence did you use? Well, I know the person. I like him. Parted his hair the right way, or whatever the answers were. But it's not a coherent due diligence process that they've used to try to figure out, is this a way for me to invest my money? But they have other friends that they take the deal to, and they end up writing checks, and that becomes unsophisticated money that's put into a deal. One of the things that typically happens in those kinds of deals, especially at the friends and family round, is that the entrepreneur convinces the friends and family to assign a very high free money number to the deal. They think the baby's worth $10 million. They convince Aunt Betsy and Uncle Bob to invest at that $10 million number. Then when they come to an organized investor, they find out that that baby is really only worth $1 million. You can imagine what the Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinners are like when they have to share with them that that investment is worth a whole lot less money than what they thought. So I'm going to share one other story with you. This is another deal that we invested in the early stages. This was a deal where a company that provides all types of equipment that are used by banks and primarily by community banks. They came to us. They were in, at that time, it was a growing industry. This predates 2008, obviously. They had a 3-person management team, and each person had about 20 years of experience before they went off and created this venture. They had $2 million in letters of intent from customers, potential customers, and they were willing to write a check to invest in the same round that we invested in. We put about $1 million into the company. That was the one and only round of capital that they needed. It's the only company out of 70 that we've invested in that only needed one round of capital. Hit all of their goals and developed essentially a $10 million business. In those days, this goes back to the 2001-2002 time period. There's a concept called preferences, and you'll hear more about that later. But it's really a way to take some money off the table before you share the money among all the shareholders. In those days, it was not uncommon to have a preference of 2 to 5x. So you think about it, if you have $1 million in, you take $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million off the table before you share the money. In this deal, we had a 3x preference. The good news was that all the entrepreneurs had the same preference. So over the last few year period, they have paid off that 3x preference, so we have 3 times our money. They've paid dividends on the last couple of year period, and we still have a robust $8 or $9 million business that in the near term, we will hire an investment banking firm and go out to the marketplace and attempt to sell this. So this is one of the plus deals that we've invested in. So